Hi, everybody. I'm John Laspina, Carnivore Teacher Alpha, and I'm doing something a little different here. I'm going live by myself without George and Stephanie because the new food pyramid came out that everybody's has an opinion about. And I figured, let me try something a little different. Let me go live and have a discussion and just break it down, analyze it. Let people chime in on the chat and ask their questions, express their comments. If you do, I will call on you. I'm going to read a little blurb here to welcome you. Tonight's live is titled The New Food Pyramid Exposed, a Carnivore Analysis. And I want to be clear right up front, this is not a lecture at you. It's a conversation with you. The food pyramid has been rebranded, renamed, and repackaged yet again, as you can see here right next to me. And I'll be referring to it throughout this discussion. The core question remains the same. Does it actually align with human biology, or does it serve something else? Tonight, we're going to break it down calmly, logically, and honestly from a carnivore lens, grounded in physiology, history, and real-world outcomes. This live depends on you. I want your questions, your comments, your pushback, and your experiences in the chat. As you type, I'll use your input to guide where this discussion goes in real time. If something doesn't make sense, call it out. If something clicks, say so. So jump into the chat, say hello, tell me where you're from, and start typing your questions, and let's expose this thing together. I see one person who was already in the chat before I clicked live, and it's Kimmy Hicks 137. Welcome. Thank you. This person says, Happy World Carnivore Month. January is World Carnivore Month. I put out a video inviting people to try it if you haven't gone carnivore before. And then at NTL219 says hi. So if you have questions or comments, go ahead and type them in there, and I'll highlight them for you and talk to you, and we'll break this down. While I'm waiting for questions or comments to come up, I'll do some talking myself because I have a lot to say about this food pyramid you see right next to me. I want to frame this discussion around the new food pyramid using one simple question. Everything that we talk about tonight should be around this one question that I will come back to frequently. And that is, what do humans actually need to get from food? Remember that question throughout everywhere we go tonight. What do humans actually need to get from food? The word essential comes to my mind. Has very specific biological meaning. An essential nutrient is something your body cannot make on its own, and therefore must come from the food we eat. If you can make it endogenously, that means inside yourself without eating, it's not really that essential, period. So when we look at human needs through that lens, the carnivore diet becomes very clear. First, we have protein. And protein is built from amino acids. Humans require essential amino acids to build tissues, enzymes, hormones, neurotransmitters, immune cells, and ruminant meat provides all amino acids, the essential ones, in the correct ratios with no anti-nutrients blocking absorption. Next, there are essential fatty acids. Humans need omega-3 and omega-6 fats, but in a tight, balanced ratio, not the distorted inflammatory ratios promoted by modern food systems. So ruminant fat provides small, appropriate amounts of omega-6. Did you know we need omega-6? We do, but very, very small amounts. And we need meaningful amounts of omega-3. And so we get those without seed oils and without ultra-processed food. No inflammation factor required. And we can talk about omega-6, omega-3, that whole concept, and why they're different, why we need them in that specific ratio. And then there's fat-soluble vitamins, which are A, D, E, and K2. And these are critical for immunity and hormones and bone health and brain function and cardiovascular signaling. And of course, they're found in animal fat, in organs, in egg yolks, and butter and ghee and tallow, not in plants in any usable form. Beta carotene is not vitamin A. A conversion has to take place, and it's very poor and often not available. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more, and then I see some comments that are coming up, and I'll get right to them as soon as I finish my little spiel here, because that's the base of this discussion. We're getting to water-soluble vitamins now, and that's vitamin C and all of the B vitamins, and they're covered with a carnivore diet. Meat is rich in vitamin B12, B6, niacin, riboflavin, folate, and others in highly bioavailable forms. Vitamin C, yes, fresh meat contains it. And here's the key point. On a low-carb carnivore diet, your vitamin C requirement drops dramatically because glucose and vitamin C compete for the same transports. Less sugar means less need for vitamin C. You know, scurvy is a high-carb, low-meat disease. I made a video about scurvy because I get that question a lot. Minerals, iron, zinc, selenium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium are abundant in meat and organs and are absorbed far better than plant sources, which are bound up by phytates and oxalates and lectins, goitrogen disruptors, and the list goes on of anti-nutrients. And that brings us to a few myths that just won't die. And I'll get to those myths later. You know, the myths about cholesterol and fat clogging the arteries and, you know, all those myths that, you know, protein's bad for your kidneys. There's so many myths that I keep hearing repeated back to me ad nauseum, and I have to debunk those myths. So let's see who we have here. I talked about Kimmy, and let's see, NTL219. Have you ever, let me see if I can highlight these. Can I highlight these? Yeah, I can. Have you ever met others in the carnivore community? Yes, I have, actually. I went to a thing called Hack Your Health this year and met a whole bunch of people that I've only talked to online, and I get to see them in person and hug them. I met some famous people at Hack Your Health, famous in the carnivore community, like Dr. Anthony Chafee, not at this last Hack Your Health, he was at the one before. I've met Dr. Sean Baker. I met Dr. Ken Berry a few years ago at a different event. And I met Rick from Miami, the duck guy. I've met Papa Carnivore. Actually, I met him here in my own hometown of Boca before I met him in person other places. It's really fun to meet carnivores in person that you've only seen on the screen through social media. And you hug and you connect and you talk, and they're wonderful. I've met, oh my gosh, so many wonderful people, men and women. So yeah, it's really fun. Let's see, we've got Rick Perez, the new pyramid. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. True, it's less bad, this thing. It's less bad. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to break down each one of these little cartoon pictures, by the way. Have you noticed, has anybody said anything about that? Have you noticed that they put out a cartoon picture of the pyramid for the entire United States of America, adults and children? I mean, I just, first thought that came to my mind, to be honest with you, not to be super critical, was they couldn't produce something a little more professional looking than a bunch of cartoon pictures. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let's see. We have North Dakota Carnivore, Lance. Hey, John. Hey, Lance. How's it going? We have Fuzzy Booger. I don't see mountain oysters in that picture. Oh, I've never tried those. Don't know if I want to. Anybody know what those are? I believe they're bull testicles. Tell me if I'm wrong. All right, and then we have DS111. I worked in the home of 2 retirees. The gentleman spent more than an hour chopping and slicing fruits for a lot of juicing. They swear by the stuff. Yeah, juicing is sworn by. Many vegans and not vegans, people juice. They think juicing is healthy. You're getting all those vitamins and all those minerals and healthy things you're supposed to get from fruits, right? And they add vegetables to the juicer too. I owned a juicer, And I used to juice, and I collected the pulp, and I used it to make cake and stuff with. And you know what juicing does? Juicing removes the fiber, which slows down the absorption of all that fructose and glucose. So you're getting this gigantic hit of sugar right away from juice. And because the oxalates that are in a lot of these vegetables and fruits is also bound a little bit, you're unbinding it and you're breaking it up so that it gets absorbed very rapidly into your body. And we all know that oxalates, those are those sharp crystal-like things that are in spinach and rhubarb and almond flour that are just terrible. They give you kidney stones and things like that. So juicing, I gave my juicer away. Now that I gave it away, I feel bad I gave it to that person. I should have thrown it out. We should not be drinking juice, and we should not be juicing fruits and vegetables for the reasons I mentioned. Terrible. I made a video about that. All right. Anybody else? If you have a question about this food pyramid thing here, type your question. If you have a comment, I will read it. I'm going to get started and just what I've been wanting to do. I've been dying to do this on social media. I made a video about this pyramid, but I've been wanting to break it down a little bit. So first, what are your thoughts? Why do you think they inverted it like this? Why couldn't they make the pyramid the way it was before? But all right, so you've got the meat up here at the top. That's great. And the cheese and the ground beef. I think that's what that cartoon picture is. And we've got the, the turkey or the chicken, here's the dairy, the wonderful eggs, right? Why couldn't they put the wide part at the bottom and the pointy part at the top like the other pyramid? I mean, I understand inverting the pyramid because we needed to invert the old one, but I don't know. Did they get it right from South Park? I don't want to get too political here, but I critique this pyramid. So let's look at the bottom of the pyramid and work our way up. What are these little? Can you see my cursor? Yeah, you can. What are these little things here? Is this supposed to be oats and that's oatmeal? That's what I'm thinking that is. So that's at the pointy part. So don't have a lot of oatmeal maybe, and white bread. Don't have a lot of white bread. Okay, they kind of got that right. I think you should have none, but they put that in there because baby steps, people have to, people are making this their bulk in the old way of eating. And now this needs to be the minimum amount. So they're still keeping it in. I kind of get why they did it. I still think it should be eliminated. Whole grain shouldn't be in there at all because you get the zonulin. The zonulin is the lectins that get into the cracks of your intestines and cause problems. Terrible. The fiber, the other anti-nutrients that are in whole grains, plus it's a starch. And the starch is a long string of glucose molecules. As soon as the enzymes in your mouth and your small intestines touch it, it breaks it into glucose. So you're basically, with these whole grains here, you're eating sugar. It doesn't take long to break it down into sugar. And then what's above that? Sugar and fructose, glucose and fructose in the banana. Today's modern bananas are sweeter and bigger. Then it looks like nuts and peanuts. A peanut is a legume, like a bean, and nuts. Okay, these are full of lectins and phytates and oxalates. They are the babies of their, they want to protect the babies, these plants. And so they're very high in these plant toxins, these anti-nutrients. And then this is a bowl of cereal or a bowl, again, of oatmeal. I don't know. I can't tell from these cartoon pictures what they're trying. You think they could put the word on there, right? So we know what it is. We just assume maybe it's cottage cheese. Maybe it's rice and beans. I can't tell from this picture. Even if it was rice and beans, what is rice? It's a starch. Starch is a long chain of glucose molecules. What are beans? Beans are a legume, just like a peanut. A bean is full of starch and a lot of lectins, which block the absorption of essential minerals in our gut and cause gut distress. Then we've got grapes, fructose and glucose. We have oranges, glucose and fructose. Strawberries and blueberries. Berries are better. Berries are less bad. Berries are what I used to eat when I did keto. A handful of berries was the phrase. But again, we could go into the spraying of the glyphosate and you have to get these organic, et cetera. There's the apple, very high in sugar content, and a pear, super high in sugar content. Tomato has lectins. Carrots are super high in sugar. So are the peas, frozen peas, mind you. At least they wrote the word frozen peas there. And let's see what else. Avocado is probably the healthiest plant I see on this list here. All right, although it has its anti-nutrients. I'm speaking from a carnivore lens now, but when I did ketovore and keto, I used avocado. I did. Do you guys see coffee here at all? I don't see coffee at all. That's a discussion. I eat shrimp all the time. I see walnuts and pecans. So this whole section here I'm drawing with my mouse, this whole section I think should be cut out. Because what is this whole section? It's fructose, it's starch, which is glucose, and it's plant toxins. And this is from the carnivore lens. Yes, it's less bad than the last pyramid because we have all this good stuff up here at the top, at the wide part, which I thought the wide part would be at the bottom when they put it out, but you know what they did. All right, let's go over and check out our people here. Lots of people are saying things. Let's see. We've got John, together strong, sharing experience, strength, and hope one day at a time. Thank you, John. We have North Dakota Carnivore Lance. I think it was a good start. Didn't go far enough in eliminating processed foods. I agree. Even the fresh veg or fruits should cut more out. It is a step in the right direction. That's why I always say the Dr. Ken Berry phrase, it's less bad. That says a lot when you say it that way. We have DS111. Maybe the new pyramid is geared toward children. I think that makes a lot of sense. Why don't they put one out for everybody? Maybe another one for an adult version, or maybe that's coming soon. And some of their parents whom they do not want to overwhelm with words. Is that what we've? Oh, I recognize this guy. Oh, I remember when you comment a lot on my videos. Thanks for chiming in. I don't know your name though, but thanks. You might be right. I'm a former middle school teacher, and this kind of looks like a school diagram, so kids can understand it. We have Josephine Cowley, 44. Howdy, John. I think they want to go slow with the change. As some of us know, going fast is not good for all. I think you're right, Josephine. I think that it is what it is. And hey, it's better than nothing. At least there's a change in the right direction. So I have to be critical because of this stuff, but I will also give them their due and say, okay, they're doing something to make it better. Hello, Jojo. Okay, let's see this one. Howdy, John. North Dakota Carnivore says, I like how the site adds in each group one at a time. I stopped after the berries, and that's probably the most I would ever eat now. My wife loves avocado. She's ketovore because of that. And you know what? Ketovore, keto, carnivore. Hey, even just low carb or Mediterranean. I did a video a long time ago. It's a whole spectrum, right? All of that is less bad and better than the ultra processed food in the standard world diet or the standard American diet. So any move in the right direction, it's a spectrum, is going to get people healthier. And when you get healthy, you depend less on the sick care system that's out there, and less medications and less doctor visits and more money in your pocket because you're not spending it on that. All right, let's see what we have here. Evening, John. Am I redoing these? Let's see. Where am I? Here we go. I'm not a very good comment reader. Usually when I do this, Stephanie's pushing the buttons and George is talking and I can do things, and now I have to multitask. All right. Started at 367 pounds, John, together strong. Now at 190. Holy crap. That is the amazing progress. Congratulations, John. That's huge. I only lost 35 pounds when I started eating properly. I mean, that's monstrous. And do you know where the weight went? I'll read the rest of that in a second. I did a video on this too. A lot of people think that when you lose the weight, you poop it out, you pee it out, right? You know, most of it comes out of your breath. You're breathing it out. Fascinating. Isn't that amazing? You do lose a little bit in perspiration and urine and bowel movements, but most of your fat loss comes out of the carbon dioxide that you exhale. All right, so 12 years keto, 9 months carnivore, John says, reverse diabetes, fatty liver, heart disease after a 5 times bypass. Wow. No glasses needed anymore. Mental clarity improving every day. John, I'd love to interview you. You are a success story times 100. Not just see, a lot of people get in this for the weight loss. They start with I want to lose weight, and they do. And then all this other stuff happens. All these other side effects start kicking in that you're like, you're kidding me. I don't need the glasses anymore. Can you see? I use these only for reading, but I've noticed that even reading, it's even clearer and easier for me. All right, let's see what we have here. DS111, the only drink I see in the new pyramid is milk. There are so many drinks out there to avoid. Basically, we should be drinking water with electrolytes. All right, mineral water. I use a reverse osmosis filter under my kitchen sink, which takes everything out. And then I add Redmond Relight Hydration. It's magnesium, potassium, sodium, little tiny scoop, little bit in my water bottle here. Okay. And I add ice and I shake it up and I carry it around with me all day. So I know I'm not only getting water, I'm getting my electrolytes and I know how much I need. And everybody has to figure out what they need. That's it. Now, if you want to drink coffee, I'm not going to judge. There's nothing wrong with drinking coffee. Strict carnivores will kick you in the butt for that. And, I could tell you why they would do that, but I don't want to go into that because I don't want to turn people off. Just what do you put in your coffee? All right. If you're drinking something else, what's in that drink? Some people are addicted to soft drinks, so they go to diet soda, and the diet soda has the aspartame and the sucralose, which is less bad than sugar, but it's not good for your brain. It kills off good gut bacteria. So weaning is the best measure. I often talk about removal and replacement. It's very hard to remove something that you're used to, that's ingrained in your life, that you've been doing forever, and now you want to stop. Because as soon as you pull something out, ask any cigarette smoker, right? Or any alcoholic, as soon as you stop cold turkey, there's a big gaping hole left and you go through withdrawal. It's almost like a death in the family. You mourn it. You're depressed. You're miserable because this hole was filled with something in your life. So whether it's coffee or alcohol or sugar, that was mine. I'm a sugar addict. You remove it, but you replace it with something else. So yes, I did the sugar substitutes for a while, and then I weaned off of those and went on to less bad sugar substitutes. I went on to monk fruit. I went on to erythritol, and then I went down to allulose, which is even less. There's a spectrum of less bad sweeteners to get yourself off of it so that it's not a big gaping hole of what you miss. Same thing with soft drinks, same thing with coffee. You have to replace something that's harmful with something that's neutral or less harmful, and do it slowly, and you can get off of it. All right, let's see what we have here. North Dakota Carnivore, Lance says, started at 335, now 215, enormous gain, enormous loss. I mean, carnivore 17 months, off 5 blood pressure meds. Your BMI is 41 to 26. Anxiety's gone. Mental clarity is amazing. Not yet done with glasses, but getting better. Amazing. Another list of wonderful improvements. And this whole anxiety thing, Mike, my video that I put out this morning was about stress and anxiety. And when you just eat properly, you have this carnivore calm that comes over you. Even without the deep breathing and the meditating and the prayer, you're chemically set up to not be stressed. Now, you might still get stressed, but your body physiologically isn't in a fight or flight mode because it's handling all the toxins and the sugar. So great for you, Lance. All right, let's see. John, together strong. Lance, you're rock star. Good work. Pat each other on the back, guys. It's true. Lance says, thanks, John. You have also had amazing results, inspiring others to get their life back. My results, I have my own results. Everybody has their own story. You know, like the Dave Mack stories. You've ever seen the thousands of stories that he puts out. Mine's unique and different too, but it's not like some of these people. Some of these people, my mouth hangs open. I've spoken to people with anorexia, with just amazing stories of healing. And, you know, when I come across people who are skeptical, you know, there's thousands of stories run through my mind. I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea what this can do for you. It's just amazing what happens when you get out of your own way, when you remove the things that are slowing you down and harming you, intoxifying your body, and just take them out. And then the body, amazing as it is, gets to work all on its own. It knows what to do. It starts healing from the inside out. It starts repairing. That's what carnivore is all about. It's about getting back to the basics of human physiology, human biology. All right, let's see what we have here. DS111, my teenage daughter eats all the worst stuff and will not budge and eat like me. She gets a lot of colds and flus. That's a hard one. You know, friends and family, I have found, don't listen to you because it's you. So one thing that Dr. Berry taught me is if you can talk, if you really want to help your daughter, talk to somebody else that is not a relative and have them talk to your daughter. And they will listen to that person. They won't listen to you. My friends and family, when I start to talk, I have to set it up and say, do you want to hear this? Because I'm going to answer your question. And then sometimes they say, oh, please, John, don't start. And I'm like, okay. They don't want to hear you sometimes because they knew who you were, not who you've become. And, you know, I was unhealthy and I ate a lot of crap and I tried a lot of fad diets. So they remember who I was. And they think this is another one of those fad diets. And so they don't want to listen to me. But you all listen to me. And that's what I love about you. All right, let's see what we have here. DH Rupad. Is there any way I can send you my medical reports to look at as I have specific questions? I am a grad student in, I can't even say what your major is, kinesiology, kinesiology, and have been on carnivore ketogenic diet for 2 years. Please help. I'm not a doctor, and I really can't give medical advice. If you want to send them to me, I can read them and give you my opinion as a carnivore teacher with no medical experience. Just a person who eats carnivore and has spoken to a lot of medical doctors. I'll give you that feedback. But you have to understand, I can't guide you in medical stuff. So my email is teachercarnivore@gmail.com. If you go into my YouTube, you can see my email address and click it, and it'll tell you teachercarnivore@gmail.com. And I'll type it right now in the chat. All right, so if anybody wants to copy that and email me, I love emails. I love messages. I love responding to people. And I don't know everything. I will be the first person to tell you I am a student. Even though I'm a teacher, I'm a student too. We're all students. We never stop learning. So if I don't know something, I will say I have no idea. But you know what I can do? I've got the internet. I can look. I can find the answer, and so can you. So always remember that. So let's go to the next one. John says, I'm working on videos for my YouTube channel. Music videos are my full story of my 23-year journey with diabetes. Great. Work on it. If you need help with your YouTube channel, let me know. I'm getting pretty good at mine. I used to teach, I taught for 34 years, middle school students, sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. The last 17 of those years, I ran a little television studio inside my middle school. We put on a live morning show, and I taught video production with green screen, and we did Final Cut Pro and iMovie and cameras and everything about video. And that's where I took my skills and did my YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to email me with questions on that, I've got some knowledge. I can help you with that. So good luck with that, John. North Dakota Carnivore Lance, that video was shared with my wife, daughter, and son-in-law. All have anxiety issues. Thanks for sharing that video. Everyone has the potential to have anxiety issues. Listen, I'm going to tell you something real personal right now. I'm retired in my third year. I'm in my third year of retirement already. And I had, for 34 years straight, I had this anxiety and stress that was constant. Teaching, talking to parents, dealing with all the stresses in a public middle school. Each of my five classes every day had over 30 kids in it, lots of behavior problems, lots of disabilities. I could go on and on and on for hours about my experience as a teacher. But when I retired, bam, stop, gone. And I'm like, great, I'm retired. I went on a cruise. I'm getting up when I want to get up. I made my YouTube channel. But you know what? The stress, it's like post-traumatic stress syndrome. I have that. I still am ready to go. Like my body wants to be at that same level of anxiety and stress because it's been there for 34 years. And every day, I have to tell you that I never mentioned this on my channel. Every day I have to calm myself down and say, John, you're retired. Relax. You don't have to stand in front of all the kids and deal with the principal and the parents. And relax. And it's still with me. And I kind of associate it with a type of post-traumatic stress. I want to get back to this food pyramid, guys, and then I'll get to some more of the questions here. So I want to read a little bit more of my research that I have here, and then I'll get back to your comments here. I want to talk about the myths, and maybe this food pyramid will start dismantling these myths that have been out there, these lies for decades. Fiber is not essential is one that drives me crazy. There is no deficiency disease for fiber. Humans thrived for millennia without it. The gut does not require plant roughage to function, especially when inflammation is removed. We don't need fiber. And people will argue with me till the end of the earth. And, you can't win an argument. You just talk. But we don't need it. Fiber contains no protein, no vitamins, no minerals, and no amino acids, and no fatty acids. It's basically paper. It's tree bark. It's bulk. It's cellulose. It's nothing. And it actually is like sandpaper. It scrapes you from the inside out. And some people can deal with it, and they like to see that bowel movement, right? And when you remove it, you don't have that bulk. And you don't go constantly, but you don't need it. And a lot of people have a problem with it. Irritable bowel syndrome, my gosh, Crohn's. All right, cholesterol is not the enemy. That's another myth, that cholesterol. Everybody, one of the first questions people always ask me on the carnivore diet, oh, all that meat you're eating, what about your cholesterol? What is your cholesterol? And then I tell them my cholesterol number, and they're like, see, look how high your cholesterol is. And it is high. Cholesterol is a structural molecule. It's a hormone precursor and a repair substance. The body regulates cholesterol tightly. Every cell in your body makes it, by the way, not just your liver. And you don't just eat it. The body regulates it. Fear of dietary cholesterol is outdated science. We need cholesterol for all of the structure of every cell in our body. We need cholesterol for the myelin sheaths around our spinal cord, our axons, our neurons. We need cholesterol to make testosterone and estrogen and progesterone. We need cholesterol to make vitamin D along with the sun. We need cholesterol for our brain. To take a statin to lower your cholesterol is absurd. You're hurting yourself. it's believed because we were taught, thanks to Ansel Keys. I did a video about that jerk. Sorry, but he is terrible damage he did to this country. That cholesterol causes heart disease. That's the myth. And it's not true, because what causes the plaque in the artery to form involves cholesterol, but cholesterol did not cause it. Oxidative stress causes damaged arteries, arterial sclerosis, atherosclerosis, seed oils that are oxidized, inflammation of all kinds, lots of glucose and sugar that's sticky, sticks to your endothelial cells in your arteries. And the cholesterol says, oh, there's a mistake there. We're going to go fix it and make a patch. You know, that's what cholesterol does. You can't blame the firefighter for starting the fire. And that's what we've been doing with this repeated myth. All right, next one. Fat does not clog your arteries. We keep hearing the myth that it does. Atherosclerosis is driven by inflammation, oxidation, insulin resistance, and damaged LDL, not regular LDL, but oxidized LDL, not saturated animal fat. Stable animal fat, it does not oxidize like seed oils do because they are polyunsaturated. And this is where the new food pyramid still misses the mark, in my opinion. All right, let's go back and look at this food pyramid. We've got all this stuff. I'm trying to point, but everything's in a mirror here when I do this. All this stuff down here is fructose and glucose in the form of starch and glucose in the fruit. And then there's all these plant toxins, lectins, oxalates, phytates, and they're not accounting for that. And that causes oxidative stress. So that causes problems. That's what's going to damage your arteries, that stuff. Now, you know, again, this is a cartoon triangle here. For whatever reason, they did it this way. And let me see if I can get this back off the screen here. Sorry about that. Where is that? There it is. They don't tell you how much. You just assume the wider parts up here you eat more of, and the narrow parts you eat fewer. But, you know, you're not, this pyramid is better than the last one. That's all I can say. It's less bad, but it still has its problems. And it doesn't address the myths I just explained. Maybe we need to have, other than a pyramid, maybe we should have a myth-busting pictorial diagram that the government could put out. I don't know. Then the argument is, should the government be involved in any of this at all? Right? Should we be listening to our government? I won't go there because it's political. All right, let me see where we are in the things here. Oh gosh, I don't know where I left off in the comments. There we are. Let's see. Oh, it's like sports medicine and helping them with injury. Oh, okay, cool. Great. Next one. That's my email that I put out. There's my email, guys. If you want to email me, I will write you back. I will, unless there's 100,000 of them. The Void Millennia. Get a consultation with Professor Bart K as well. Bart K is fantastic. The man is brilliant. If you watch his videos, you will see him acting a part. He's playing a part like an actor, being a sarcastic bastard. That's what he's doing. That's not him. In real life, he's a really nice human being, but he plays this role for his videos where he bashes the video because a lot of the information is flat out wrong and they are ridiculous, but he calls them all these horrible names and everything. But the man, Professor Bart K, knows his stuff. All right, let's see. So yeah, get a consult with him. Erupted, understand, sir. My major is in strength and conditioning, and I work with athletes who are on the carb-rich American standard American diet, but I never responded to carbs well, IBS and digestive issues. So you're one of those people that has IBS and digestive issues because of probably the grains and the lectins and the stuff that's in the carbs that you're eating. So yeah, I have a lot to say about that. But on keto, I'm feeling great. But recently, my TSH shot up to T4, went down. I regularly train and even practice Ollie lifts to build power and speed. So I am really confused about my thyroid levels. Get a comprehensive thyroid panel again. I would say go carnivore. You said you did keto. See what happens if you do just beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I say beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fish, and eggs. Eat the stuff that's up here. Okay, maybe cut the dairy out. Don't use the olive oil. Just eat the meat and eggs and try that. Since you're already keto, your body may be in ketosis, and you may have already gone through the keto flu and gotten rid of, rebalanced your electrolytes. And if you just go carnivore, do an elimination diet, maybe just do ruminant meats for 30 or 60 days, and then get tested again and see what your thyroid, see what your T4 and T3 and your reverse T3, see what they are, and see if that did it. And if it didn't do it, they will suggest something for you. The doctor will suggest a replacement hormone. Who knows? But you won't know unless you take out all of the plants, all of the grains, because that just might be what's doing it. There are certain plants that have goitrogens in them. If you go up here to some of these vegetables, they have goitrogen disruptors, and they mess up your thyroid big time. So you may be eating those and you don't even know it. So check those out. Kimmy, scratches up your, yeah, that's all fiber does. Scratches up your colon. Yeah. John says fibers like eating Brillo pads, willow pads on soft tissue doesn't sound like a good deal. It isn't a good deal. All right, Kimmy Hicks. I love that you guys are all commenting. When I came on tonight, I'm like, I just might be talking to myself. And look at all of you guys. Thank you so much. Kimmy Hicks 317. I was getting slowly worsening hemorrhoids for over 10 years. And the episodes were completely random. After 7 weeks of carnivore 2.5 years ago, they went away. And that was the fiber that was giving you the hemorrhoids. Yeah. I don't think, God, the last time I had hemorrhoids, it must have been way before I even did keto, like 10, 15 years ago. I remember they're not fun at all. All right, North Dakota carnivore Lance, key to a happy life is to ignore keys. Okay. And congrats. Margarine is the real artery clogger. What is margarine? Thank God it's not on this new list. We've got butter here. Yes, that's fantastic. But margarine is seed oil. It's canola. It's usually soybean oil, and it's hydrogenated, which means they pump hydrogen into it to make it a solid. And they probably add flavorings to make it try to taste like butter. I was raised on margarine. All we had growing up was margarine. And when we would go visit the grandparents in South Philadelphia, my grandparents never had margarine because they were old school. They used butter. And I remember trying that and thinking, oh, this is good. Oh, I like this stuff. Mom, why don't we have this at home? Oh, it's bad. It clogs your arteries. We eat margarine because that was the message. It was repeated. It was recommended margarine, and it really harmed a lot of people. Long term. Okay. Hello, everyone. Retired Rick. How's it going, Rick? Thanks for coming on. Hey. All right. Lance says they also didn't allow for enough saturated fat to be in the diet. No, they did not. No, there's a little bit here. They have cheese at the top here. You notice that? And milk. And dairy is wonderful. In my opinion, dairy is carnivore because it comes from an animal, but dairy has lactose. Lactose is glucose and galactose together. And most adults have lost the lactase enzyme that we had as babies. So our bodies can't separate the galactose from the glucose. And then we get bloating and gas and gut irritation and diarrhea. And then there's the opioids that are in dairy. And a lot of people have a problem with the lactose and the opioids in the dairy. And why they put cheese all the way up here with the meat, it's actually higher than the meat. You're supposed to eat more cheese, look at this, than a steak on this diet. You're supposed to drink as much milk as a steak on this diet. See, this pyramid's, I'm sorry, I know it's less bad, but come on. We could do so much better for the American people than this pyramid. I'm having problems. Sorry, I just am. And if you watch my channel, you know I have a problem with eating a lot of poultry. I love chicken, the skin, the dark meat, but I don't eat that much because the chickens today are really poorly raised. They're fed bad feed. And because they're monogastric animals, it comes out in their nutrient fat profile, and you're eating it. You're raising your omega-6 super high when you eat a lot of this. So I still eat it, but I don't know, chicken wings once a month instead of chicken a couple times a week like I used to. There's a lot of consider. This is fantastic right here, but it doesn't say what kind. It should be wild caught sockeye salmon. That's what I think this should be. Never eat farm raised fish, in my opinion. I did a video about that. This looks like yogurt or cottage cheese. This is either tuna fish or mackerel or who knows, herring, something in a can. Again, I guess it's less bad. It's less bad. All right, let's see. Josephine saying hi to Rick. He's Aussie. Yes, he is Aussie. You're talking about, no, he's not Aussie. Professor Bart K is, well, he may be Aussie, but he lives in New Zealand. He may be an Aussie though, but he's a New Zealander. Let's see. I haven't done an interview with that guy. I'm almost afraid, though. I'm afraid he's going to rip me to shreds in his alter ego personality. I don't know. But what an amazing brain. Boy, has he taught me a lot. Professor Bart K. Gotta go to his channel and start watching Bart K. You may not like it. You may. I don't know. All right, let's see what else we have here. I like Bart's carnivore military uniform. Yes, he wears those. Sometimes he has guests on who wear them too. Professor Bart K and Harry Serpanos are the best. They are great. Rick says, hi, Josephine. Question, do you have, DS111, do you have a noticeable reaction to any seed oil you might ingest, even if only a small amount? I'll tell you what happened to me on a cruise. I've been off of seed oils for about 7 years. Maybe a little bit got in, but I've been consciously, since I've gone keto, then ketovore, and now carnivore, it's a total of 7 years from start to finish, start to continuing. I've avoided seed oils unless it's snuck in. And on I take a lot of cruises because we live near a lot of ports and it's pretty affordable and easy to get to in Florida. And everything's cooked in seed oils, as you probably know, everything, unless you specify, which is why I always have a discussion everywhere I go, whether it's a restaurant or on a cruise. I'm a real pain in the neck. I was going to say ass. But I didn't ask one time, and I had a whole bunch of bacon. I'm like, ooh, bacon. Let me have like 16 pieces of bacon. And it was super shiny. I'm like, why is this so shiny? I ignored my gut instinct. I smelled it. It smelled normal. I ate all the bacon. It was delicious. And I had problems for the rest of the day and the next day with my gut. And I found out the next day. I went up and I asked, I said, is this bacon baked in the oven? And they said, oh, we drop it in the basket in the fryer. And I almost fell flat on the ground. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. They fried their bacon. Some places fry bacon instead of just baking it. And so I had gut irritation. Because my body is now super clean, I can sense some of the toxins a lot clearer, and that hit me. It hit me. I felt disgusting. Something wasn't right. I didn't know what it was until I realized the bacon was shiny. It's not supposed to be shiny. While I'm on that point, if you've ever gone to the Brazilian steakhouses, they bring out the big spit, and they carve off the meat and you take your tongs and you ever look at a lot of that meat is super shiny because they rub seed oil on it. I won't eat at those restaurants anymore. And a few times I asked the guy, and the guy said he acted like he didn't understand English, which maybe he didn't, and so he couldn't answer me if it had seed oils. And I ate the meat anyway, and I kind of felt icky that night. I think the seed oils were rubbed on that meat. When I make meat at home, it's not shiny. Okay, let's see. Next question. What time is it here? Wow, we've been on this 50 minutes. I'll go longer than an hour if you want to, but I was only planning to go an hour. Again, if you guys have any questions, I'll highlight your questions, your comments, anything that's on the topic of this new food pyramid and carnivore. Off topic, but case reports scurvy in an epileptic child on a carnivore diet with oral complications. Are you asking me a question, or you're telling me about a report? In an epileptic child on ketogenic diet with oral complications. I don't know what the oral complications might be, but on a ketogenic diet, which is the original purpose that we used a ketogenic diet was for epileptic children in the early 1900s. Epilepsy stopped, and you're saying there's a case report of scurvy. Maybe there was, I don't know. But, there is vitamin C in muscle meat, and it's small. And when you don't eat sugar and carbs, you don't need a large amount. Dr. Anthony Chaffee said something like, when you're eating the standard American diet, you need vitamin C in milligrams or micrograms. When you're on a ketogenic or a carnivore diet, you need vitamin C in nanograms, picograms. You don't need that much vitamin C because it's not competing with the sugar. It's the same I think it's GLUT4, transport, uptake. It competes with glucose, and it doesn't compete. What do we need vitamin C for? It helps with so many things in the body when it comes to our muscle and our collagen production. And so you'll have problems with collagen, and that's what scurvy is. We don't get that. I don't know a single carnivore in the carnivore community, and no one that I know knows any carnivores that got scurvy. I don't have scurvy. I haven't had vitamin C from fruits and stuff like that, or pills, in 7 years. And by the way, I used to pop vitamin C every day and a multivitamin before I went on this way of eating, thinking I needed to have my multivitamins. Well, vitamin C in excess, what does it do? It converts into oxalates. That might be another reason why I got kidney stones. I was popping the vitamin C like crazy years ago. It built up in my body. So, all right, next one. Should switch beef and chicken. Yeah, I think that the beef should be up higher as well. Chicken should be lower. I would totally reorder this. I would put I would put pictures of ruminant meats up top. I would put picture of lamb, picture of bison, picture of ground beef, picture of a T-bone steak, just different cuts of steak at the top that are ruminant animals. And then on the next level, I would put some non-ruminant animal. Or no, I would probably put seafood, because that's really important, I think. I know a lot of carnivores don't touch seafood, and I think that that's wrong. I think we should have a variety of carnivore foods. And I think we should have wild-caught sockeye salmon and shrimp and oysters and mussels. Oysters are a superfood like liver. Oh my gosh. And I would put those on the second tier. And then I would put non-ruminant animals like turkey, chicken, duck, pork, pig. I would put that on the third layer. And then maybe I would go down here, I would have butter and salt and everything up here. And then as you get down to the point, I would put, I don't know, what would I put there? I would put the heavy whipping cream, maybe put the milk down there if you wanted to have milk, because some carnivores want dairy and they're okay with dairy. Eggs are sometimes, the whites are not tolerated by a lot of people. The egg yolks are almost fine for everybody. So I would put the eggs down on the second or third tier. And at the very tip, what would I put? Allulose, maybe put, I don't like stevia, but stevia, allulose, like way down here at the tip, like stuff, coffee, things that you should have. I don't know. But the way that the food pyramid is now, I don't know. Maybe the kid, maybe they had a kindergartner help them draw this or something. I don't know. All right, let's see what we have. What about goat cheese with milk? Yeah, goat cheese could be up here. Goat cheese is A2 casein, and A2 casomorphin. Casein is healthier. It disturbs people's guts less than A1. I made a video about that. So anything from the goat or the lamb, whether it's cheese or milk, that dairy tends to be less offensive to people, less disruptive to people's guts. Some people can't do dairy at all. I love dairy. I'm a dairy. I think the casomorphins, that's my addiction of the more. I just love it. Whenever I have dairy, I can tell I'm addicted. So I have to be very, very careful not to overdo. I have many times on Carnivore, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to make carnivore ice cream, Dr. Kiltz, right? I'm going to try my own version. I'm going to mix it up. And whenever there's dairy, I overdo it, darn it. I don't have a little bit. I have way too much. And then I suffer. And I know what I did. I did it to myself. All right. And I also made a video about that. It's all about testing. You don't know how your body is going to respond unless you test yourself. Try the dairy, see what it does. Leave it in or take it out. Try the egg whites, see what it does. Try it, leave it in, take it. If I don't say try seed oils and see what it does, but some of these things that a lot of people don't eat on Carnivore, like coffee. If you're okay with coffee, fine. If you do not have it for a while and then you start drinking it and you notice some negative effects, there you go. You have pinpointed that it was the polyphenols and the caffeine doing it to you. And then you make a decision of whether you want to deal with that or take it out. It's really a wonderful thing to do, is to test yourself. Be honest with yourself. Let me go down here. I don't know where I am. I got lost in the comments. Did I do this one? North Dakota Carnivore. Buffalo, there is take the top left corner, beef, egg, salmon, shrimp. That is obese person's pyramid. That's what I ate with a BMI of 41 and now 26. If this is all you eat, you're going to be healthy. It's not going to make you obese. I'm just going down here. I had bacon, DS111, like what you described recently from a restaurant. I suspect it was fried up on a griddle that was saturated in oil, and it was foul. Yeah. You don't know unless you test yourself. A while back, I got a quick crumb chicken leg. Oh my God, the oil tasted like fish, not good. Yeah. You know what's interesting is you mentioned it tasted like fish. If we used fish oil or oil, like omega-3 oils, if it's fresh and we just use it cold, it's not going to smell. But as soon as you heat it, it stinks. As soon as it gets old or the light touches it for a long time, it stinks. What is that? That's oxidation. The fragile omega-3s broke and oxidized. And that's how they make seed oils. They take the stink out with deodorizers and hexane and everything. And so when you're buying ultra-processed food that are loaded with soybean and canola oil, you won't smell that stink because they deodorized it, but you're eating oxidized oils, just as if it stunk, but it didn't stink. Does that make sense? All right, Josephine, it's awesome to see you live, John. I miss out on the Sundays as I'm sleeping at that time. You know what, Josephine? Maybe I'll do a live every week. I wasn't sure if this would be successful or not, but it seems to be working. We're almost at an hour, but I'm going to try to finish these comments here. I'd like to just do an hour. North Dakota, have a wonderful night all. I got to go. Thanks for coming on, Lance. I appreciate you coming on and commenting. And if I decide to do this every week by myself, I do a solo, come back, please. I invite you. Pop Carnivore, there he is. There's my friend. He's about 4 miles away from me. Great guy. All right. Psst, hey, you know that guy, Peter? Oh, hey, Peter. Yeah, that's Papa Carnivore. His name's Peter. I met his mother. It's amazing. I met Peter, Papa Carnivore, online first. And then we ran into each other without even planning it in a sushi restaurant, like I forget what it was called, Ichiban or something. It had the buffet, and all I get is the clams and the mussels and the oysters and the shrimp and everything. And of all the tables in the restaurant, I'm sitting at one table, and he happens to be right at the next one with his mother, and we're like, "Aren't you John? Aren't you Peter?" And it was really fun. We sat together, we talked, and I know recently he just got his mother to get off of bread, and she's doing really well. So, Peter lost a ton of weight and healed a ton of issues. His story, go to my channel and look up Papa Carnivore interview that I did with him. And he has interviews he's done with everybody. What an amazing interview and healing that he has. And he's such a nice guy. Everybody's saying hi to Peter. There he goes. Did you notice that if you start to click on the pyramid, the first foods to fill in are the top left, the carnivore foods? Yeah, these are the carnivore foods. That's the only part I can deal with when I look at this childish thing here. I can't get over how childish this looks. Put some real pictures up or something. I don't know. All right, let's see. IRR and Josephine. As always, good show and info. Great. I'm glad you're getting something out of this. I never know. Glad I've seen this tonight. I'm glad you did too. Rick, Josephine. Let's see. I'm just clicking them all. I'm not reading them before. Saying hi to Peter. Everybody's saying hi to each other. What a great community. George and I were just talking about this last Sunday. He talks about his pillars, and the last pillar is community. And if you are doing carnivore or keto or ketovore, and you're trying to get healthy, doing it on your own, it can be done. It can be done. But when you connect with other people, like-minded people who are getting healthy, and you're hearing their stories, and you're learning things from other people. I learned so much from other people that I'm still learning stuff today. I get aha moments. I get epiphanies. I'm like, oh my gosh, I grab my phone, and that's the next topic for my next video. That's where I get my ideas from, all these wonderful people in the carnivore community. So fill up your YouTube tabs with Bart K, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Anthony Chafee, Sean Baker, with there's so many. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read them all off to you. All the people on my wait, let's see if I could do that. No, don't leave. There we go. I'm going to tell you what I have on my YouTube tabs, who I listen to. I listen to Robin Herring, Carnivorous Grandma, Anaya English, Anthony Chafee, Ben Azadi. He lives in Miami. Ben Bickman, Professor Bickman. I got to meet him. I bought his book. He signed my book. The Boston Carnivore. Boundless Body Radio, Casey Ruff. What a great guy. Amazing interviews. I listen to every single one of Casey Ruff's interviews every day when I'm working out at the gym. I put my earbuds in. Let's see. Carnivore Muscle, Jonathan. Of course, Rick, Charger Mopar. Let's see. Dr. Nelson, who works with Dr. Kiltz, Kilt's Mighty Tribe. Dr. Eric Westman, Dr. Thomas Seyfried. He talks about the cancer connection there. George Goodenough, who's good enough for you. Happy Sexy Health is Stephanie. Healing Humanity, Carrie Mann. Jason Fung, all right, for fasting. Kim Howerton. I started listening to her way back with Dr. Ken Berry. They're really good friends, and I bought a couple of her books and her recipe books. She's keto, but she's wonderful. Lainey's in there, George's wife. Low Carb Down Under puts out great podcasts. Monique Attinger is the Low Ox coach. She and I have become really good friends. She lives in Canada. She is so knowledgeable about oxalates and how to cut them out of your life slowly so you don't hurt yourself. Meeting Wellness with Christy, my sing-along friend. We haven't done a duet in a while. Metabolic Mind, No Carb Life. That's Dave Mack. There's Bart K. Richard Smith. I love the way the guy talks. He's from, what is he, Scottish or Irish? Oh, I love his accent. Sally K. Norton is the oxalate coach. I have her book, Toxic Superfoods. Target Prime Rib in New Jersey, my buddy Thomas, and the Carnivorist. He's about oxalates too. And I have more. I read you a ton, but go start finding people to listen to. Dr. Ken Berry, I have also in here. I have Nisha Berry. I used to have a few others and I've whittled some down. I've stopped listening to a few because honestly, I can't get to all of them. But community is so vital. It's so, so, so important. So if you got a lot out of this show, maybe I'll do one every week. Let's see if people said other things here when I rambled. Let's see, John, I pitched eating dinner. There it is. John, I pitched folks going to your channel while in the chat on Dog. Oh, thanks, Peter. I appreciate that. Retired Rick, eating deer burger with scrambled eggs and bacon slices. Yummy. I'll have some. Yeah. John, you have good content already. I will definitely be back to your lives and listen to your other. Oh, I guess I'm coming back on next week. All right. So maybe I'll just do this seems to be working. So I'll do Monday nights at 6. We'll see how that goes. I told everyone on Dr. Kiltz that you have one of the best carnivore channels out there. Oh, Peter, I really appreciate. This community rocks. Everybody's so supportive and friendly. I really appreciate that. I pitched this channel first now because he's a great teacher and the videos are short. Can't expect too much from people who are not eating. Yeah, people, thank you, DS111. People like long videos and some people like really short videos. Now, I personally don't, this is weird. I don't like listening to short videos. I want the long ones because I put my earbuds in. I'm cleaning the house. I'm cutting the lawn. I'm doing housework. I'm at the gym working out. I'm in the car driving. I want the long ones. I don't want to have to start all these things over and over again. But other people are different. They want something short and encapsulated. So I don't know. I just do between 4 and 10-minute videos every morning. I put one out, and that's how I like to write. So some people like my videos. Other people are like me, and they like the long ones. Like this one. Learn something new every day. Absolutely. If any of you want to send someone info on Carnivore, Papa Carnivore says, go to Carnivore Teacher app. Thank you, Peter. Oh my gosh. This channel is growing fast. Yeah, honestly, it popped up from 6,000 to 12,000 in 1 week because of one video that for some reason, and I don't know why, I wish I knew what the formula was, it went crazy. And it's the ruminant meat versus monogastric meat video. I have 220,000 views already. I'm using the same formula to make all my videos. And for some reason, that one hit. And people are just freaking. I got a lot of subscribers from that one. And I'm so happy. Mitch Weiss, formerly Old Guy Carnivore, has a terrific channel too. Yes, he does. Old Guy Carnivore. Check him out. There's a new channel called Big Papa Carnivore. Uh-oh. Papa Carnivore's got a competitor here. He is a trucker, only 9 days in, and always in isolation in his truck somewhere. He is still slightly over 300 pounds, but down 9 pounds. He would be a great one to start following and watch his progress. And then there's the trucker carnivore, who's really, I watch him. He's more on Instagram too. Retired Rick, John, your videos are just right for, great. I love this feedback. Your follow list sounds like mine. Oh, yeah. Big Papa Carnivore, how cool that name's. The guy shows a lot of gratitude to comment. Well, no, I want to read everything. That was the whole point of this thing on live, was to make it all about you. And my channel, myself, everybody who comments or questions, I'm retired, so I have the time. If I see somebody who commented or questioned, I write a response. I like to write back because I like the feedback. I learn from my viewers as well. I don't know everything. And I like to let people know what I know because people have questions. All right. I have to go soon, guys. So I want to get these last ones. You're looking great. Thank you, Papa Carnivore. I'm feeling great. I really am. Your short videos listen to hours dance music while cleaning, walking. Oh, that's what you do. All right. And then Vitalicious. I think the bowl in whole grains is rice and a bowl above it is, yeah, I think this, you think this one's rice down here and that this one's oatmeal with prunes? See, we don't know. That's how pathetic this stupid pyramid is. I think this is oatmeal and these are little oats down here. Let me get that off of there so you can see. I think these are, because I zoomed in and let me see if I could do that here. Can I do that? Yeah. See, I think these are oats and that's oatmeal, right? And so maybe this is rice and beans. How do I get this back down? There we go. So I don't know. You can't tell because this is pathetic. All right, let's see. Did I say everything I wanted to say? All right, one last thing before I leave you. I write things that I have that I want to say, and I put them on the screen. So if you see my eyes wandering off of the camera, it's because I prepare stuff. So I'm going to read this now. Yes, it's less bad than before, but it still centers fructose, starch, and plant foods, foods that are non-essential, inflammatory for many, and full of plant defense chemicals humans were never meant to eat in bulk. So tonight, I examined the pyramid with you. I said I was going to do it not emotionally, but I'm Italian and my emotions come out. So I apologize if I got too excited or angry or whatever about this stupid pyramid. I didn't want to get political and I didn't. I wanted to stay biological and I think I did. I wanted you to get involved and you absolutely did. You dropped your questions, your comments, because when you define essential correctly, the pyramid collapses. And that's what I wanted to say. This does not, this contains essential nutrients right here where I'm circling, and that's it. This contains plant toxins, fructose, and starch, which turns into glucose. And that's the larger section. And that's where I want to leave you tonight. So I want to thank you for coming. I'm going to end it now, a little over an hour. I will come on next week. How about that? And I'll get some topic ready. It won't be this. I'll have a different topic every week. And we'll see how it goes. And if it stays popular like this one and people comment, I'll keep doing Monday nights at 6 o'clock. All right. So thank you for coming. And the next, I'll have I'll do a close here like I do on my Sunday Carnivore. I'm Carnivore Teacher Alpha. I put a live video out every day. We have Carnivore Sunday School every Sunday. It is not about religion. It's just on Sunday. And I used to be a teacher, so we call it Sunday School with George Goodenough, Stephanie, Taylor, and myself, and a special guest. And we're having somebody special come this Sunday. And then I'll be back with you here on Monday, since this worked out great. All right. Let's see. That's it. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to end it right now. You have a wonderful night, and I will see you next time. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it so much. I really do.